Hey, it's Glenn Evans from Church Security Alliance, and I want to talk to you today about survival. A couple of incidents lately have caused me to really think about this, and I wanted to throw some things out there to you. Last week in Maryland, a man walked into the Discovery Channel and made a threat against everybody in the building that he had a bomb strapped to him, and that if his demands were not met, that he was going to detonate the bomb. Now, I want to ask you, have you considered if somebody walked into your church, what exactly you would do? If somebody walked in with a bomb, what are some of the things that you're capable of doing? You know, when things go badly and you have to realize that most people are looking for someone to direct them. Now, obviously, getting out of the way of a person like that is a good idea. And evacuating the building, if you can do so as safe as is possible, that's a good idea to do. So they're going to be looking to you to accomplish this. But I also want you to think about a couple of things tactically and also for your equipment. A lot of church security teams use radios, and the first thing they taught us in the academy was if you have a bomb threat of any sort, cease any use of that radio. The second thing is you may have a plan to contact the police by cell phone. Realize that a lot of IEDs over in Iraq and Afghanistan are detonated by cell phone. So those two options of communication are out. So what is your plan? Is there somebody who is designated to run to a landline and make that call? Is there somebody inside the church campus or inside the church body that has a firearm? Now, as this situation progressed, the SWAT team was called and the building was surrounded. The media was able to make contact with the person who was identified as James Lee. He was somebody who was an environmentalist to the extreme, and he wanted to prove a point, and he wanted to get some attention for his cause. All you need is one person to come into your church with a cause that they want to demonstrate, and it can be a really bad day for you and for everybody else. There's also evidence that he may have had some mental issues, so there's always the possibility of a mental person coming in and having some derangement or wanting to exact justice on your church for whatever perceived slight or whatever. All they need to do is have a reason to come to your church. So, as this progressed, the police actually ended up shooting this person in the head. Now, when they did this, I questioned, whether this person had a plunger device, whether he had a device where if he were laying down that the bomb would go off. I wasn't sure about that. I'm sure the commanders didn't actually have that information at the time. They may have. But essentially what happened is a police officer shot him in the head, ending the threat, and thankfully the bomb didn't go off and nobody else was hurt or killed. But if you have armed personnel there on campus, you need to really think through how you would respond. Obviously, if it's a terrorist and it's an IED and they just want to make a statement, they could walk in, detonate the bomb, and your job at that point, if you survive it, would be to render first aid, get the government officials there, and try to maintain the chaos. But if you are somebody who's armed, you may be thinking about shooting this person. So if you're going to shoot this person, where do you want to shoot them? How close do you have to be? You may train a lot with your weapon. I have a lot of training myself. But more than likely, the sniper aimed for this area right in here, the rectangle area, right where the eyes are, probably right in there. And the reason for that is because if somebody struck there with a high-powered round, there's a high probability that the person is not going to be able to push that plunger or hit a button or make a call on their cell phone. So, so that's more than likely where he was hit. If you're going to do something like that, your training, should meet that challenge. But also, if you shoot him in the chest, shoot him in the leg, he still has the opportunity to detonate. So that is really a choice that you, as the person who stepped up to stop this aggressive action, must consider. So those are just some things tactically that I wanted to throw out. Now, there's two other things I want to discuss very quickly. What if a natural disaster happened at your church? Whether it be tornado or hurricane, and you were in a church service and you were in place. And this thing happened and now you're stuck, the government's not able to come help you. What can you do? What could you do for your family? This is really what began the process for me thinking about it was Katrina. I saw how the government was not able to respond and I was concerned for my own family. So what I did is I went out and I purchased this survival kit. Now this survival kit has everything we need in order to survive for up to 3 days. It has shelter, it has heat, it has thermal blankets, it has food, it has water, and so I take some comfort in knowing that if I am involved in a car crash, run into a gully, whether a tornado hits and the government can't come help me and my food pantry is blown out, that I actually have food here. And also that if we have to leave quickly, it's in a handy backpack that I can just throw on my back and go. So this is my family survival kit, and I encourage everybody to get something like this. Now, this is something that I do provide, that I do sell through basicsurvivalgear.com. So if you're interested, you can check that out. But I want to also talk to you about your church, and they actually have something called an office survival kit. And this office survival kit has all of the same things in here, including first aid, so that if something were to happen, you can just pull it out and you have enough food and water for a specified number of people. So that's something that you might want to consider for your planning and your disaster planning. But the other thing I want to talk about is, I know that there are a lot of people out there who are having a hard time financially, whether it be the economy, losing a job, too much debt. You might need some extra money. I want to tell you that 2 years ago I started this just off chance. I got on this particular website and I found this kit, and I realized that they actually offered me the opportunity to start my own business for a very low amount. I think it's $59 to get started. They give you a website, all the marketing materials, a business card, flyers, as I mentioned, a website, and then they also provide all the shopping cart, they pay the taxes, they take all the orders, and the biggest part is the drop shipping. I don't have any inventory on this. I don't carry anything in my office. This is the only one I have here that I can demonstrate for people. And essentially what this company has done is they're giving me the opportunity to make 30% on everything I sell. Now for every one of these I sell and make $30. And the question that I ask people that kind of sells itself is, are you prepared for an emergency disaster? Will your family be able to survive for 3 days? The look I get from most people is it's a blank stare, because 60-some% of the people know that they need to be doing this, and they agree that they should have this kit in place. But think about your own behavior. Have you done it? Have you set aside enough food and water? Have you done those things? The thing I like about this is that it's done for me. And I figured if I liked it, probably my friends and family would like it too. So if you're interested in that, there's going to be a button below here. If you want to check out the survival gear, you can do that. If you want to check out the business opportunity, you can do that too. So there will be a button to take you to a specific page where you can watch 5 videos, short videos that kind of explain the business. So that's my take on survival today. There's so many things that we could talk about when we're talking about survival. But I wanted to throw those things out about the bomb threat since we had this situation occur just a week ago in Maryland. And anything can happen at any time, anywhere. And it's a good idea for you to prepare in advance and to know exactly what you would do in an emergency situation. Until next time, I ask that you be safe and continue a good job out there.